Hi, everybody. Happy to be here. When you eat a tomato, guys, right? It's all guys. When you eat a tomato, do you ever think about the environmental damage of a tomato and who died to make your tomato? You don't need to, right? I want to talk to you today about a world where your steak has the same impact as a tomato. And this world actually exists today. This is the product you had, Marco, our flank. It has the CO2 impact of a tomato. My name is Eshchar Ben-Shitrit. 10 years ago, I became a father for the first time. And for some reason, I stopped eating meat. I used to love meat. I still love meat. But I stopped eating meat because I feel bad for the animals that have to die in order for me to enjoy a great steak. Actually, 3 years later, I had another boy. And on the same day, I quit my job. And I decided to join this plant-based meat revolution. The revolution of taking meat from animals and creating it in a different way, just for the single reason that I really wanted to go back and eating a steak. And that driver of me enjoying a great steak is something that continues to fill my journey, which isn't an easy journey, with a lot of passion. And later I understood how impactful it is when I feed people with our meat. And actually, we put the center of everything that we do in Redefine Meat as loving meat, having a deep interest and genuine believing that meat is good. Meat is actually great because most people like to eat it. The problem is the cows. People don't understand that we as humanity keep 1 billion cows on this planet just for meat. And these cows drink much more water than the entire humanity. And unfortunately, cows are a very inefficient machine, so they need to eat 25 kilograms of food in order to produce 1 kilogram of meat. And in a world that has too little water and too little food for people, we don't grow food for people. We don't need more food to feed 10 billion people. We have enough. We just feed it to cows. And because cows are so inefficient, in a world that everybody is trying to be more sustainable and reduce the amount of driving that they do or emissions from transportation, we eat a food product that 1 kilogram of it, beef, emits as much CO2 as driving 50 kilometers. And once we understood that my love of meat and the need to help the planet is so big, we decided not just to have a company that has a product or a technology, but a company that has the potential to become the world's biggest meat company. The largest food company in the world, anybody knows who it is?
McDonald's?
The largest food company in the world. Easy. Everybody knows, household product, Nestle. The second largest food company in the world is JBS. A company just doing meat is the second largest food company, and one company alone produces every year as much waste as the entire population of India. The second largest beef company in the USA, Tyson Foods, slaughters 50,000 cows every day. It's incredible scale, actually quite evil companies. What they do to the rainforest, to politics, to human beings is quite dramatic. What they do to animals is more dramatic. But beside that fact, what they do, they deliver a great tasting food product to everywhere around the world, affordable, healthy, convenient that people like. We want to do the same exact thing without needing to kill the animals. And we do it by something that is a combination of a vision, a combination of science, technology, and art. We see ourselves as meat architects. We study meat. We study its cultural background, its historical element, the reason the culinary world and human beings adopted meat so much. And we try to understand what in meat makes us love it so much. And then to find practical tools to recreate the same meat experience, not just the same product, the same complete experience, not using animals. In the past 6 years, we developed our core technology that we call plant-based tissue engineering. We have 15 patents, most of them are granted, and they allow us, like a meat company, to produce any kind of meat that we want without using animals, focusing only on mammals. We do beef, pork, and lamb. We developed a muscle structure made from plant-based protein. We developed a blood component made from plant-based proteins. And we developed a fat tissue made from plant-based fat, all mimicking the same component that are found in your body and in a cow's body, and ways to bring them together, like the products that you had today. A kebab, a pulled meat, and a steak. For the steak, we use additive manufacturing, but this is not the core of the story. The core is the ability to take those building blocks and recreate the entire structure of animal meat and to manipulate it in ways that consumers enjoy as meat. We took our technology from lab scale to launch, to scale up in 2 factories, one in Israel and one in the Netherlands, and we are now selling in 10 countries, servicing the high range of the culinary world. We started from Michelin stars and famous steakhouses, then going to hotels and casual places, and then going all the way to street food. We work with customers like Hilton Group across Europe. We work with famous steakhouse chains like the Beef Bar. And everywhere we go, usually we're the first plant-based meat on the menu. In many locations, we are the first vegan dish on the menu. This is very important because we don't want just to substitute existing vegan options or existing plant-based meat option. We want to introduce new meat, the way we call our meat, to places that meat has never been before. Recently, we started launching also in retail. We are now in a few countries selling consumers to try meat at home. And actually, we try to educate our consumers that their personal choices, what they do as consumers, has a huge impact. And it's very, very easy to measure. We work with a small startup called Climato to measure the impact of reducing plant-based meat, reducing meat from animals and switching to plant-based meat. One of the things we all need to comprehend that if we don't make choices today around our consumption, we won't have a planet anymore. The problem is that we cannot really change the behavior. We need to find a way to continue to do what we're doing, eating meat not coming from animals, or, for example, the case of TikTok. Everything that you do, or your kids do, has a huge impact. And if we take 2,000 people and they just reduce 1 meat dish per week, we free up 3 million hours of TikTok scrolling. This might not mean a lot to you, but our biggest customers, like Hilton or Intel or Microsoft, they have targets on how much CO2 they need to reduce. And when they understand the impact that can come from food, how easy it is to reduce emissions by not eating meat, they start making actions. I live in a very small village in the mountains of Jerusalem, and a lot of our neighbors, they now have 2 Teslas. So this is their conscious decision to reduce their CO2 emission. Actually, 2 Teslas per household on average save 600 kilograms of CO2 every year, which is equivalent of reducing meat once a month from the menu. That's it, for the family. But we cannot educate people, we cannot educate consumers, we cannot educate you by convincing you to stop eating meat, right? This doesn't work. We tried that. It just doesn't have the impact. What I do want to ask from you is to go out of this room and go around London and just try our new meat. Why? Because the journey of replacing meat from animals with something more sustainable, making a positive impact on the planet, doesn't need to start by a presentation that somebody tells you that this is the way to save the world. You start by eating during lunch, right, Marco? And then going out to great places like the Petit Beef Bar or even the Virgin Atlantic Lounge in Heathrow that doesn't have beef, because beef is bad for the planet, and eat a steak. And this week, we're launching for the first time in history, but the first time for us, our flank steak in Ocado. So the first time our products that have been sold for the past 2 years only to restaurants is available for consumers. We're launching in Ocado with Coop in Switzerland and with Jumbo in the Netherlands. And now it's up to you. Just go try Redefine meat and tell me how it was. And if a good bite can save the planet, for me, I'm covered because I'm back eating steaks from plants, not from animal meat. Thank you.